What's up, Falcons Nation? It's your boy Jew coming at you with another Atlanta Falcons video. As always, Falcons Nation, rise up. In today's video, I want to talk about three players in our secondary that we need to watch out for heading into training camp. But if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you'll know when I've done Atlanta Falcons content. Hit that like button for your boy. I really appreciate each and every one of you guys continuing to tune into the channel, continuing to share out my content on all the social media platforms. If you would like to follow your boy on Twitter, you can follow me at Jew Talk Sports. If you would like to donate to my Cash App, you can donate to my Cash App, which is the $ Jew Talk Sports. If you would like to follow me on Instagram, you also can follow me at Jew Talk Sports. But with that being said, your boy is on the road to 2,000 subscribers. So I really appreciate you guys continuing to help my channel grow. But with that being said, let's jump right into the video. So in today's video, I do want to talk about three players in our secondary that we need to watch out for heading into training camp. The first player in our secondary that I'm really going to be watching is our number one cornerback, AJ Tyrell. I really think that AJ Tyrell is going to be a star in the NFL. I do believe he's going to be a Pro Bowl caliber corner. I do believe he's one of the best young corners in the game. Last year, he did a great job of covering Tyreek Hill in the game that we played the Kansas City Chiefs. He dropped the game-winning interception, but he was able to keep up with the cheetah. Tyreek Hill is one of the better wide receivers in the game, one of the fastest wide receivers in the game, if not the fastest. And AJ Tyrell held his own when covering Tyreek Hill in that game. He did an excellent job at following him and traveling, which a lot of cornerbacks don't do these days. AJ Tyrell was willing to travel with Mike Thomas when we played the Saints. He traveled when we played Tyreek Hill. So wherever he lined up, whether it was the slot or whether he lined up outside, AJ Tyrell was shadowing those guys pretty much all game. He's proved last year that he does have the skill set to be a ball hawk. He had, I believe, about 2 interceptions last season. His first interception came against Kirk Cousins when he was in a zone coverage. He peeled back and was able to trick Kirk Cousins into throwing an interception. But I'm really going to be watching this year to see what type of leap AJ Tyrell makes from year 1 to year 2. They usually say that there's, that second year slump, but we're going to see if AJ Tyrell can take his game to another level. I have seen him, working out on social media. He looks really good, looks really polished. And I do think that he's one of those guys, like I said, that can be one of the best corners in the league. I definitely think that he's one of the best young corners in the game. Was definitely the best cornerback that came out of last year's draft. So the Falcons and Thomas Dimitroff did a good job at scouting. And I do think that he was better than Jeff Okudah, who was the number one corner taken by the Detroit Lions. He didn't really have a good season there in Detroit. I think AJ Tyrell graded out in Pro Football Focus. I think he graded out as the best young corner in the game that came out of last year's draft. But I'm looking for AJ Tyrell to make some improvements this season. Last year, he was beat on a lot of double moves. So I'm going to be watching in these preseason games and in this upcoming season to see if AJ Tyrell has went back and watched tape and see if he's still falling for the same double moves and the same tricks with these veteran wide receivers. I want to see if he, tones down some of his aggressiveness as far as going for the football and if he's going to be a smarter player this year. Last year, I know AJ Tyrell is a ball hawk and one of those guys that's very aggressive, but I do think that a lot of teams took advantage of his aggressiveness last year and teams ran a lot of double moves against him in games. So I'm looking for him this year to still be aggressive, but be wise when he's aggressive and only take chances when it's necessary. I'm looking for him to definitely, take a leap this year and take his game to the next level. Under Dean Pease, I do think he has a chance, like I said, to be one of the better young corners in the game. And this year, I'm looking for his interception numbers to go up. And I'm looking for him, like I said, to get beat on less double moves and him to play a little bit smarter this year. Now, with that being said, the second player that I'm looking at to possibly be a player in this upcoming training camp in this season to be a breakout star for our Falcons is rookie Richie Grant. I'm a huge Richie Grant fan. He played his college ball at UCF, and I do think that he's a guy who can come in and be that ball hawking safety that we need on this team, be that great coverage safety in the middle of the field. When we run those single high safety looks, which Dean Pease doesn't run a ton of, but I expect Richie Grant to be the Tyron Matthew, the Buda Baker of this defense. I do think that he has that capability. He may not be that in his first year as a rookie, but I do think that he's a guy who can come in and help solidify that playmaking, ball hawk in the back end of this defense. We've been missing that over the last couple years. We haven't really had a guy that's been able, especially at the safety position between Ricardo Allen and Keanu Neal. Neither one of those guys were really known as being ball hawks. We really haven't really had any ball hawks in a really long time at that safety role. So I definitely think that Richie Grant has all of the tools to be a guy who can be that ball hawking safety. He can be that Troy Polamalu of our defense, that Ed Reed type, that Earl Thomas type, where he's able to make up for the mistakes that the corners make, and he can be that eraser back there with as far as getting interceptions off tip balls, being able to be in the right place at the right time, forcing fumbles and things of that nature. One thing that I love about Richie Grant's game is that he's a guy that's fearless when it comes to tackling. He's a very physical safety. He's a guy that you can use interchangeable, meaning he can play the strong safety and the free safety position. If you look at how he was used in UCF, that was one thing that I think Dean Pease and I think that Terry Fontenot really liked in a guy like Richie Grant in the draft, was that he's a guy that's versatile, that you can use. He's very flexible. You can use him as a linebacker in the box at times. You can use him in single high safety looks because he has that range. And you can use him in some man-to-man situations where he may be manned up like a cornerback on a tight end or a running back. So I definitely think that Richie Grant has a chance to be a star in this league. Even though it's his rookie season, I have high expectations and high hopes for Richie Grant. He was a guy that was high on my draft board. I think he was I think I had him at number 2. I had Andre Cisco and then Richie Grant as my second safety on my draft board that I wanted the Falcons to go in and draft. So I was really pleased with Terry Fontenot bringing in Richie Grant with that number 2 that second round draft pick. I think that was a great pickup by the Falcons. And I really think that he's going to show huge dividends or pay huge dividends for our Atlanta Falcons this season. And the third guy in the secondary that I'm going to be watching this year closely is Isaiah Oliver. Isaiah Oliver is one of those guys. Over the last couple years, he kind of struggled last year early on in the season when they had him playing outside at that number 2 cornerback position. But he really hit his stride and really figured things out when Raheem Morris took over as the head coach, as an interim head coach, and when Jeff Ulbrich took over as the defensive coordinator after Dan Quinn's firing. Isaiah Oliver, they moved him inside to play the nickel role, and I really feel like he found his niche. He is that Brian Poole of our defense. If you remember when Brian Poole was here in 2016 and 2017, he was that guy that played in the slot a lot. We used him near the line of scrimmage a lot because he was a good tackler. And I think that that's what we're going to see out of a guy like Isaiah Oliver. I'm going to be watching Isaiah Oliver really closely in the preseason and in training camp to see if he's improved his ball skills. That was something that he struggled with last year, of turning his head around when the ball was coming. And he really struggled when he was placed on the outside. But when they moved him inside and he was able to play in space, he was great at tackling. He's one of the best one-on-one tacklers on our team. He was a guy in one-on-one situations. He limited yardage after catch So a lot of guys weren't getting a lot of yak yardage. When Isaiah Oliver was coming up and making tackles, he was good at getting the guys down. He was form tackling, and I definitely think that Isaiah Oliver is somebody that could really take a leap this year. I really think he turned the corner last year towards the end of the season, and I think that Dean Pease, he definitely has watched tape on him, and I expect Dean Pease to use Isaiah Oliver in a lot of different situations. I expect Isaiah Oliver to be used in the box as like a fourth linebacker. I expect him to be used in that nickel role on the inside. And then I also expect to see him play some safety. It was rumored in many camps that they had him playing a little bit of safety. I can see him when you have two high safeties, I can see Isaiah Oliver being one of those guys. He does have decent range. I just want to see this year if he's worked on catching the football, because last year it was a couple instances where Isaiah Oliver could have made plays on the football. If you remember in the Chicago Bears game last year, he had a chance to intercept the football and he dropped it. But he had a couple instances where the ball hit him right in the hands and he dropped it. So I want to see this year if he's went and worked on, went to the jug machine and worked on his hands, being a guy that can take the football away, and also being a guy who can possibly knock the ball out in fumble situations. He needs to get with a guy like Foye Oluokun and work on plucking the ball out. When you come up to make a tackle, don't just make the tackle, but take the football away. So I'm definitely going to be watching Isaiah Oliver. He should be coming up on his contract should be expiring soon. So it's going to be key this year to watch Isaiah Oliver and see if he's one of those guys that can improve. I definitely saw huge improvements last year, like I said, when he was moved to the nickel position. And I'm going to be watching closely to see if Isaiah Oliver takes that next step this year, and if he's worked on his technique and coverage, and to see if he's worked on those ball skills of getting his head around when the ball is coming, and see how well, see if he can turn into one of those guys that can be a playmaker on our defense. Because last year, like I said, he was great at tackling and stopping guys short of the sticks. But I want to see if he's a guy that can intercept the ball, take the ball away, and be a game changer for our Atlanta Falcons defense. So with that being said, those are my three players to watch for in our secondary. Isaiah Oliver, Richie Grant, and AJ Tyrell. You guys let me know what you think of the video. Also, remember on Wednesday nights to tune in. I go live every Wednesday night. I was live last night with What's the Word Dirty Bird, which is my live show every Wednesday night. So definitely tune in at 7 p.m. Every Wednesday night. This Wednesday coming up, I will have a special guest joining me who is a Saints YouTuber. So you're definitely going to want to tune in next Wednesday night at 7. We'll be going live and we'll be talking Saints and Falcons for this upcoming season and talking our expectations and things of that nature. So you're definitely going to want to tune into that. And it is now strictly on Jew Talk Sports on my channel. I only go live from Jew Talk Sports. It's strictly a Jew Talk Sports show. So you're definitely going to tune into my channel if you want to catch What's the Word Dirty Bird. I am still a part of Atlanta Falcons Nation as well, but my show, What's the Word Dirty Bird, will strictly be streaming from my channel. So if you want to catch my episodes every Wednesday night at 7, you're definitely going to want to join on my channel, Jew Talk Sports here. Like I said, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, hit that subscribe button for your boy. I am on the road to 2,000. Also go over to Atlanta Falcons Nation. We're on our way to 2,000 subscribers there as well. But with that being said, this being your boy Jew. Also, if you have a video that you would like me to do, definitely leave a comment below. If you have a player that you want me to take a look at, or if you have a topic that you would like me to talk about or do a video on, I am taking you guys' requests. So please leave that comment or that suggestion for a video as well. But I'm gonna have a lot more of these three players videos coming out where I'm talking about 3 players for each position group heading into training camp. We're about a week away from training camp, which kicks off next week. So I'm super excited about training camp, and I'm looking forward to dropping a lot more content for you guys. But with that being said, this be your boy Jew. I'll holler at you guys in the next video. As always, Falcons Nation, rise up. Peace.